Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by FPL expert FPL Salah to preview Gameweek 8. FPL expert is a term that a lot of people don't like, but I'm the host. I'm allowed to say it, and Abdul's rank is such that I think it's apt today. Now, obviously, Abdul, neither of our ranks are that great at the moment, but it's very early on in the season. And from speaking to last year's winner, Jonas, he said he was something like 1 million rank after Gameweek 8 last year. So if you've had a slightly slower start than usual, I think it's completely fine. But let's talk about last Gameweek for a little bit. You did well. A green arrow.
Yeah, I got like a almost 1 million green arrow, but it was a good week. It was 59 points in that week was good. Had Saka, which done well for me, but obviously I didn't captain him. Captained Haaland, who blanked, and then Havertz got a goal for me and Mbemo as well. So that was about it. But compared to like others, it was a good week, and it's always good to go into the international break with like a nice green arrow.
Yeah,
So I'm
100%.
glad I got that.
Okay, let's have a look at the team for the upcoming game week. You have some interesting decisions. The main thing here is that you chose not to sell Diaz last week.
Yeah.
Because you didn't need to be fair. Like him on the bench was completely fine. I mean, looking at this team, guys, you can see it's super strong, like a lot of depth. But yeah, the question I think now comes on to this week. If we do get similar sort of information to last week with knowing that he's not going to start. Interestingly, he's actually, I clicked optimize team here on the Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool, and that's put him first bench below Semenyo and Rodgers, just because of the minutes risk there. Obviously, if he starts, he's a better pick, but yeah, slightly concerning that he's on his first bench when I click optimize. But yeah, what are you thinking with him?
I think this week is a bit different because I had Rodgers last week, who I think had a good fixture and I could just play. This week I've got Semenyo first on the bench against Arsenal, and also I think Diaz's time is nearing an end in my team anyway. But I mean I think he'll start, right, because Liverpool playing the Sunday. Diaz's last game was on like Tuesday night, like in a UK time. So he'll
Okay.
probably already be back in the UK by now. He's got today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then the game's on Sunday. Um, so I think he'll start. If we get early news that he doesn't start, then I'll probably just move him on this week to like Mavi Didi or Brennan Johnson. Just because I've got 3 free transfers, there's no point in holding another one. And like my kind of main aim now is kind of to build towards getting Palmer in alongside Saka. And going Diaz to Brennan Johnson won't really affect that for me. So I'll probably will make the move if we get early news that Diaz is benched.
Oh, okay. I want to just talk about that straight away. Because this is the one things that I love about this tool right here. And if you do sign up, you can sign up today. By the way, it's a 7-day free trial. So if you don't like it, then you can always cancel, guys. Link down below. You can click through to future game weeks and do some transfers for future game weeks, like plan ahead. Can we just do that quickly? I want to know your path to Palmer. So obviously you're not going to go from this week, but yeah, long term, I'd love to hear what you're currently planning.
Yeah, so this week, if all goes well, right, this is the plan this week is probably to go Havertz to Solanke. Now the reason I'm making that move is just because
Wow.
Spurs' next 6 fixtures. They're really good. Havertz, I guess on this one I could probably wait another week, right? Because Arsenal got a Bournemouth, but I kind of need to build towards, as I said,
Yeah.
the Palmer move, and that frees up some money for me. So the plan is this week go Havertz to Solanke, and then the next game week I'll have another 3 transfers, and then I'll need to decide whether to bring in Palmer in game week 9. So this is the dilemma I have. Either bring him in game week 9 when they've got Newcastle home, then Man
Yeah.
United, or wait until game week 12 when Chelsea's
Yeah.
fixtures pick up. So if I do make the move in game week 9, then it'll be Diaz to Palmer and then Trent to 8 Newry. Now,
Nice.
yeah, so I mean it's
Okay, and you need that money from Havertz to Solanke to be able to afford that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I'll need that money to I mean I could go up to like almost like a 4.8 million midfielder, um, but sorry, a 4.8 million defender, but I don't think there's
Yeah.
anybody up. I mean if I had a bit more team value, I probably could have even stretched to Porro, but my team value is quite poor this season. So I think 8 is fine after the Man City game. You know,
Yeah,
he's
that run's
highly
great.
attacking.
That
They've
run
got a great
is
run, and
unreal.
I know they've bottomed the league. They've conceded the most goals, but you know they've had like the fixtures do pick up, and we know like you know with fixtures, the form comes. So that's the plan for Palmer in Game Week 9. If I don't do that, then I'll probably just wait until Game Week 12 for Palmer. I think the two windows to bring him in are in Game Week 9 or Game Week 12 when they play Leicester.
Yeah, completely agree. That's actually made me think a little bit more about Palmer because I was kind of looking at this block of four as a whole and thinking, okay, I don't need to rush that move in. But
Yeah.
forget that, like after the Liverpool game, Newcastle at home, United away, like those are two pretty good fixtures from an attacking
Yeah,
perspective,
from an attacking
realistically.
perspective.
And then yeah, Arsenal, but it's at home, and then after that, obviously you're really going to need him.
Yeah,
So it's a chance to get a jump start on the rest of managers like me who don't have him, perhaps. And also, he's probably going to keep going up and up in value. His ownership is almost 50% now. Unbelievable. So
yeah,
he's a big EO threat anyway.
yeah. There's that as well, but I think the fact that you know he's just, I think he is like almost on the level of like I'd say Salah and Haaland now.
Wow.
I think as an FPL asset, he is like you know the third best. You could say now, quite clearly. I mean, not talking as an actual football player match, talking as an FPL
Yeah.
asset. You know, like I wasn't sure if he would be able to get like you know that you got what 22 goals and 10 assists last season. I thought maybe he might cool off this season a bit, you know, just with the positioning, new manager. But nah, he's proven that he's gonna be one of the top scorers coming into the season.
That path is the yeah the pathway you just said with those transfers in mind. Obviously, it could change depending on
Yeah,
anything that might happen, but the hub loves that in terms of the team rating and game week rating that you now have. You're up at like 95%
so
team rating for game week 9, which is
yeah,
I think it might even be stronger. It might even be a higher team rating than the team that you started the season with. Like we don't
yeah,
see
wow.
95 very much at all. So to have that in game week 9 would be very, very impressive. Always have to see
Yeah,
how it pans out. But yeah, that is the beauty of the tool, guys. You can go through like as many weeks as you want, put your transfers in, see how it affects your team
mhm.
rating, your game week rating, and your predicted points. But with that being said, let's reset the team. Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
just in terms of what you're thinking for this week in particular. Diaz, you think he's going to start? What if you get that late news between Mavididi and Johnson? So let's talk about mid-price midfielders as a whole here. What is influencing that decision, and why have you picked out those two?
I just think the kind of the short term fixtures. I think this week Brian Johnson's got a great fixture, and I'd say Mavididi's got a great fixture as well against Southampton. So that's obviously in that case, and then you know if I do make that move, I'll probably be moving them on next week anyway for Palmer. But the thing with Johnson is that you know if I decide to hold off on Palmer until game week 12, he's totally fine to keep you know for the next 6 game weeks. So that's the advantage with. I guess you could say the same with Mavididi, but I don't think he's as reliable as Johnson in terms of his starts and minutes and his underlying numbers. So that's why I've kind of whittled it down to them two. I could even go for a Madison to be honest, but I just think in case like plans change, I'd rather have the player there who's cheaper and the higher goal threat. In case you know I need the money, and I think I will need the money. Looking at my team value and the fact that I need to get Palmer in. I will also comment on Saka as well, right? Because obviously I think everybody's assuming he's going to be fine. I think he'll be fine as well, but you've got to obviously plan for that scenario where he might be injured. And, you know, if he isn't, I mean, if he's going to be out for Bournemouth, I think we know that it's not like a long-term injury because Carsley said that he was close for the Finland game. But let's say he's out for Bournemouth, then, you know, there's an argument just to sell him this week and then get him back in game week, you know, 12 or 13. Because then after Bournemouth, Arsenal have got they've got Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, and Chelsea away.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Arsenal will probably be favourites in all those games, but you know they're still tougher games. They're still going to be, you know, less goals scored, and you know they're probably going to concede in those games as well. So, yeah, if Saka's out, then he'll probably go this week for Palmer, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's um, I mean, the thing is, I can't see me selling Saka in any situation because Arteta's not going to tell us anything. Even if he's
No.
out, I think Arteta's going to come out and say, "We'll see. We'll see how he trains, etc." But yeah, just on the off chance Arteta comes out and says, he's out for Bournemouth, then he'll probably go this week.
So, yeah, so I want to go back to what you said at the start of the video, really, when talking about potentially getting Palmer in, and you said that you want to get Saka and Palmer. So long term, is the view definitely still to keep Saka through these tougher fixtures in time for that good fixture run?
Yeah, because as I said, I'll probably want Saka back in game week 12.
Yeah.
When Arsenal's run picks up again. So ideally, I want to have Saka, Palmer, and Haaland there, and that's it. That's my kind of, I'd say, my structure of the team set. Those three probably won't be going anywhere. Haaland possibly in game week 12, when Liverpool's fixtures pick up again, but I don't know. I don't see it. So I'd say those three premiums are great, and then I can, the other positions will be used for transfers. But yeah, the only thing that will change that this week is Saka out this week. But if I do Saka to Palmer this week, then it'll be the same situation with Palmer. I'll be looking to get Saka back in game week 12 or 13, just to get that three premium structure.
Okay, let's have a look at your AI recommended transfers. And I actually do want to ask you about Havertz. Havertz isn't here, but I want to ask you about Havertz in a second, just because it's interesting. It's interesting him because he's a player that a lot of people are saying, "Wow, look, it's Havertz. He's still underpriced." You're saying you're going to sell him. I know it's for budget reasons, but we'll come to him in a second, just because I want to talk about these moves first. The AI is recommending for you to sell Calvert-Lewin for Chris Wood, which is maybe not a move that you'd ever think of this week because Calvert-Lewin's got a very good fixture, but the points difference between these two in terms of the predictions over the next four is ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very sizable. And then another move is selling Diaz, but it's for Eze rather than those other two midfielders that you talked about. I think still in terms of the underlying numbers, the fact that Eze is on a lot of set pieces, maybe he's sharing penalties now. We're not entirely sure on that. But yeah, his predicted points are still very, very high.
Yeah, I mean, the Eze move, I think we've had that a few times this season. I think I just like the fact he's a 90-minute man and
Yeah.
he's got a penalty share there. Probably more penalty share now that, Mateta's not really nailed anymore. The Wood one's interesting, right? Because there's one, I'd say, regret that I have on Wildcard was going Calvert-Lewin over Wood. Because I was deciding between them. I done the same from game week 1. I went who did I go for in the game week? Well, yeah, I went for Armstrong instead of Wood in game week 1 as well. Regretted that.
Just hate Wood. There you go.
I see. It's just that with Awoniyi there and with Nottingham Forest not scoring many goals, I just keep thinking he's not going to. But every time Nottingham Forest score, you just see Wood's name pop up, and it's yeah. So I mean, I understand the Wood move because he is I'd say the best budget forward in that price range. And if you look at his fixtures, coming up, they're great. I mean, Crystal Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Newcastle. It's 3 home games in the next 4. Okay, they've got Arsenal away, and they've got Ipswich. But he's just the type of player where we've all got 8 attackers, so we can bench him for the tough games.
Yeah.
It's not a move I'd make now. I just think I've made my bed with Calvert-Lewin, but I can understand the Wood love.
Yeah, and then just a word on Eze ahead of. I know you said the reason as to why. Is it kind of why are you thinking you'd go for a Mavididi or a Johnson or a Maddison over an Eze now?
It's just because that spot there is going to turn into Palmer, and I just rather take on the good fixture. I mean, Palace have got Forest away, which is a tough game. We know Forest has got a great defence, so just really target the the short term fixtures. The plan is just for the next game week. If Diaz is out, but as I said, if I do plan to hold off on the Palmer move, then I want to bring a player who's got good fixtures for the next few games, and Johnson and Mavididi fit that bill.
Okay, there we go. Those are your recommendations. Doesn't seem like you're gonna be doing these this week, but food for thought nonetheless. And guys, as always, if you would like to see your own personalized recommendations for your team, sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. As I mentioned, a 7-day free trial. So if you don't like it, you can cancel completely for free. We encourage you to do so. If you don't like it, it's completely fine. Let's then finish with talking about your potential transfer this week, which you said was Havertz to Solanke. And again, I know it was slightly for budget reasons, but Yeah, I just want to, as a Havertz owner, it concerns me a little bit. He still has a flag. I know that's probably fine, but yeah, why are you thinking? Why are you thinking to get rid of him outside of budgetary reasons?
See what I really hate that move, right? But he's played 90 minutes every single game, right? He's doing great. He's 4 goals, 1 assist. It's just really because I mean, I think over the season, Havertz outscores Solanke, right? But over the next 6, I think Solanke outscores him,
Yeah,
and it's just really a fixtures play, and I don't like the move because especially this week because I think although Bournemouth away isn't like a fantastic fixture, I mean it's still Arsenal, and he's been playing fantastic, and I think he'll be probably be playing the number 9 as well. So it's not a move I love, but I just think it's the move this week makes sense because Spurs have got West Ham at home, which is a much better fixture than Bournemouth away. And if you look at Solanke's stats as well, he's got 3.5 XG in 5 starts, right? He's been playing fantastic. I know he's only had like, you
wow.
know, he's like he scored like 2 goals and he's not had like a really big haul yet, but that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I think those hauls will come.
Yeah,
And he's been trickling along just now, but I think with the fixtures now he can really pick up. So it's just really a fixtures play. And ideally, I would have loved to, Arsenal to have like a tougher fixture this week, to make that move easier. But it's not. But yeah, that's just mainly the reasons it's fixtures. And as you mentioned earlier, it's the budgetary reasons. I do need that money in the bank as well for next week for Palmer if I decide to go there.
just looking at that. I'll just finish with looking at something that I very rarely look at in a video, but just the player comparison as part of the toolbox on Fantasy Football Hub. This is just great if you're deciding between two players, wondering if one move is worth doing for another player. Yeah, the stats are pretty similar. I've got this per 90, which is it probably favors Solanke a little bit more. But I mean, Solanke's minutes are very consistent, to be fair, when he starts. Obviously, Havertz has played; he's not missed a single minute yet, so that's a massive plus for him. But just going per 90 to make it as fair as possible, and the predicted points are very, very close.
Yeah,
So only in game week 12 is there a bit of a difference. But yeah, this is the week where Solanke is predicted to score more by a decent amount. So I think if you are going to do it, it kind of does have to be this week, even though
exactly.
you could hold off, and it's probably more consistent to do later. But yeah, interestingly, it's just that it's the flag for Havertz which is causing the predicted points to be lower. I think this week because
Yeah,
from
I
next
think
week, even Liverpool at home is 6 predicted points. Like,
yeah,
it's very strong.
yeah, and I think the flag is just. I mean, I think he's totally fine. I think he needed a bit of a rest. There's probably a risk of him getting injured if he went to play for Germany with all the minutes he's been playing. So I think he's totally fit and fine. But yeah, it's just the fact that I mean, he could well look Liverpool at home. It's a tough game, but he just needs a goal. He's got 8 to 9 points,
Yeah.
and Newcastle away and Chelsea away, are fixtures which they'll win. But I just think over just taking those next 4 into consideration, I'm very confident that Spurs will score more goals than Arsenal in the next 4. And Solanke is their is their number 9. He's going to get loads of chances. He's going to whether he scores or not, he's going to get the chances. So I'll take that on
Yeah,
any day.
respect. Okay, there we go. That is going to do it for this one. Abdul, thank you very much for your tips and advice. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what move you end up making. Obviously, it's going to be a relatively late call, depending on if we get any Liverpool team news then
Yeah,
with Diaz.
yeah, because the game's on Sunday, so I don't
Oh,
think.
yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, but we have had
4:30
early
Sunday.
news on Liverpool before, like when they played on the Sunday, but it's not often. So I guess yeah, I don't think we'll get any, but so I guess I'll just probably maybe just
Hmm.
stick with Diaz and then just go with the Havertz
I
move.
think it's going to start. I'm pretty confident it's going to start.
I'm
Yeah,
confident as well.
Liverpool at home as well, so you're not going to get any sort of necessarily any travelling news or anything like that. But
Yeah, the thing is, it's Chelsea at home, right? So it's a big game. It's not
he'll
like
start
it's
100%.
not like a Southampton at home where you can possibly rest him. Diaz, we know he's a first choice player, so if he's fit, he's going to start. The only way he gets rotated is if during like a tough fixture schedule. And with the game being on Sunday, already back in the UK, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Okay, thank you, mate. Good luck this game week. And
You
good
too,
luck
mate.
to all you guys as well. Make sure click the link in the description if you do want to take advantage of that 7-day free trial.